where best friends and next-door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready, and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is Lillian, and with me is Willow.
Hello.
Fuck y'all. Okay, so if you listen to Maris Monday, then you know what's going on, because I explained it, but not all of you listen to Maris Monday, which is fine. My feelings ain't hurt. I don't care. May was fucky. I don't know what happened. So we decided to take a break.
Which I'm so glad that we did, because we had no idea that May was going to be the disaster show that it was.
Awful.
So we helped ourselves out by doing that.
So I had internet problems for the first half of May.
Yeah.
It was like every time I sat down to upload something, Cox was working on the lines, and so I had no internet.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, fuck. So then my power went out in half my house.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. So I was just going to move my recording shit to the other half of the house. Then the whole house went out. Then it came back on. And then it went out. And it did this for days. And finally we got an electrician out. It was a bad breaker at the main box outside. Who would have ever thought to check that? I didn't even know such a breaker existed. I'm not an electrician. And how long did I have power before the storms? Like 2 days?
Yeah.
Then 14 tornadoes came through Northwest
It was
Arkansas.
14?
Well, that's the last time I checked. They said it's probably more. It's probably more in the line of like 20. It was a lot. It was one of the worst storms ever. And
it completely destroyed Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah.
Just absolutely destroyed it.
Now, me and Willow got lucky. We didn't have damaged houses.
We got lucky on that part. Yes, absolutely.
We didn't have damaged cars.
No.
We were, because you don't have a car currently, so how could it be damaged? You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the fuck. Oh, it sure is. And then I didn't have power for nearly 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the power came back on, the internet didn't.
The internet didn't come on for like a whole week.
It was a little over a week for me.
Yeah.
And then day one, it came back, it was bad, and intermittent kept going out.
Right.
I didn't really have stable internet, honest stable internet, till like yesterday.
I found out why that was happening for us.
Why?
Because for some reason, our cable lines for where we're at originate in Rogers, Arkansas, where
and Rogers got
worst
fucked.
Destruction was of Northwest
And
Arkansas.
if you're from Rogers listening, I'm so sorry. I hope you're
absolutely.
okay.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I'm not going to compare.
The destruction was
I haven't
tremendous.
seen anything like that since the Oklahoma City tornado in 97.
Yeah.
So y'all, my hearts go out to you.
Right.
And if you're listening, do try and donate to some of those relief efforts, because people lost everything. People died.
Several cities
got
across
just creamed.
two
I know
states.
was it Avoca or Little Flock?
I think
one of those.
Yeah, because that's right next to Rogers, both of them.
And then Rogers, Bentonville, Bella Vista, Fayetteville.
Mm-hmm.
So, y'all, I'm so sorry. But anyway, I was without internet for over a week. Right. And by the time my internet came back, it was June.
Yep.
And so all of May was just lost and nothing worked in my house. Mm-hmm. Everything was fucky. We couldn't even upload to Patreon. We couldn't upload to Buzzsprout. We could not literally do anything.
Yeah.
But we are back.
Yeah.
And I will literally go to McDonald's to record these if this happens again. That's where I'm at.
Which, by the way, McDonald's might be ending this year.
What does
allegedly.
that mean?
Like all of McDonald's. There was like a whole bunch of worldwide shutdowns of McDonald's for like system errors and cleanliness.
Well, obviously.
But I think it caused such a... I don't know the full details. I just learned about it
Where
today.
am I going to get my...
I know. My poor autistic toddler who just will eat only McDonald's chicken nuggets as opposed to any other store-bought chicken nuggets won't have his chicken nuggets anymore.
Where am I going to get my buy one double cheeseburger, buy the second for 99-cent deal?
That app, girl.
The app. The app fed
Give
my
me
ass.
Free stuff all the time.
Free Fry Friday, you know I'm there.
Free
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. That's what it says on my fucking screen when I buy my fucking silly cheeseburger. Anyway, let's get on with the show. This month's theme is stalkers.
This month's theme is hard as fuck to research for both of us.
Yes.
I know.
I'm about to launch into it right now.
Yeah, girl.
Okay, so on our last Patreon episode, we gave personal stories of stalking. I'm not going to get into all the stalkers that I have. I get new ones all the time. That's fun. But I have one that's going on nearly 15 years now. And I have kind of just discovered that it's still happening. And when I say just discovered, I mean, like, I put the pieces together today.
Yeah.
And then I know that my, like, communications, like Messenger and Facebook and stuff, are not safe anymore. And I'm pretty... Well, I'm mad.
Yeah.
I'm mad enough to whip out, dust off the old Lesser Key of Solomon, break out the pee-pee jar. I'm on the rag, so enjoy that. I'm put some names in there and some nasty little seals and make some yucky little deals. And, you know, this person could disparage witchcraft and the occult all day long. Enjoy. About 3 days.
We know you're listening.
I know you are, motherfucker. Anyway, and have fun reading my stupid messages. Like, I don't even talk about anything good. It's just the dumbest shit you've ever seen.
Me sending the same meme or the same GIF over and over and
this
over again.
Bitch with this GIF. God,
it's the chuckle GIF. It's
from The Office.
From The
know,
Office.
the chubby dude from The Office.
It is my favorite. It's the main facial expression.
I hate it so
I like
much.
to just...
I hate looking at it. I hate it. I know it's coming. I won't even say anything funny
It
because
doesn't
fuck
matter
you.
what you say.
I know you said
That is how I
stupid
feel
thing.
about everything.
It makes me want to peel you like a banana
That's what
and
I
eat
want.
your skin.
That's what I want.
But anyway.
Yep.
Also, I want to say, normally I wouldn't do this because it's personal and it's my personal life, but I've gone nuts. So I would encourage you to please friend me on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a good time.
She's got an open invite right now.
I don't always have
The
this,
Lillian
but
show
has been off.
Yeah.
I've really lost
She's
my
been
marbles.
manic for how long?
I've been hypomanic for 3 months.
Yes. It's been quite enjoyable. I know it's exhausting, but
I'm tired and rabid.
she's
Just out of my
It's a good
mind.
time.
It's like, okay, it's like I'm in the best mood ever,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also super pissed off. I want to do everything, but can't decide, so I do nothing, and I'm horny. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the day, and I'm sweaty, and I'm crazy.
Yep.
This is the ADHD. Like, it doesn't get talked about a lot,
Mhm.
but hypomania is a common symptom of ADHD, and I'm in it real hard. And it's fun while it lasts, but the crash is terrible, and then you don't get any sleep, and you don't get anything done, and you just chase your tail in a fun, exhausted sort of way until you flip out. So let's talk about stalkers. Trigger warnings for this episode are, of course, murder, stalking, but also suicide. So there isn't one. It's just talked about.
Okay.
This is the case of Matthew Pyke and his girlfriend, Joanna Witton. They were young and in love. They lived in an apartment above a pub in Nottingham in the UK. And like, when I say in love, when we get like people who are really young, no, they really were in love. Deeply in love. He was 20 and she was 22, and they were both students at Nottingham Trent University. They also ran a website forum for fans of the computer game Advanced Wars, which is kind of like a tactical war game. Yeah. Not going to get too into that. Our story begins in Stonemarket, which is in Suffolk. I can't say that in a British way. Suffolk. There you go. Deal with it. Y'all say aluminium for fuck's sake. I can say Suffolk. You know me and the Brits got a beef. Not really, but whatever. It is a small town, and if this... Why did I write this? Okay. And if this were Dateline, I'd say something along the lines of, it was a pastoral place. A good place, full of good people. Nothing bad happened in a place like this. Until it did. But I'm not Keith Morrison. So, I'm not going to say that. Because bad shit happens in any kind of size town.
Any size.
And so I hate when
Any
people
shape.
try and portray small towns in this sort of... Fuck yourself, Willow. In this sort of like... rosy hue. It's very annoying.
Because we live in a small town.
Yes, like
and we know
tiny
shit
small
is
town.
fucked up no matter what the population.
People die here. Hell, 2 years before I moved here, they found a mountain man slain in the woods behind my house.
He was slain?
Slain.
I thought he died of natural causes.
He did not. He was slain.
Jesus Christ. I
Indeed.
didn't know that, Lillian.
I've told
That's
you
my
now.
backyard, too.
It is.
I mean, yeah, we had
Uh-huh.
somebody shot by a cop just a few weeks ago. Like, Small towns are crazy.
Anyway, this is the town that Matthew Pyke grew up in. He was born on August 23rd, 1998. He was a happy, well-adjusted child. He was the youngest of the children. He was shy, but had a good sense of humor. He was very into computer games and began at an early age, at around 4 years old, which is the same with my youngest, who, as I mentioned last time, is an alien. So his favorite game was Advanced Wars, and it was kind of a fantasy setting tactical warfare game. It's not important to know about the game, and I'm not getting into it. And he kind of described it like as chess. Because, you strategically, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you play against other players all around the world. The documentary I listened to was hilarious because it was clearly made like quite a while ago. And they were just like, imagine it online. And I'm just like, oh. Or they're just British. And it was recent. Who knows? So Matthew shared tips and tricks for the game on forums with other players. And this is where he met a 17-year-old girl named Joanna, who enjoyed the game, and they became fast friends. She was from Yorkshire, and eventually that friendship turned romantic. Matthew's family loved Joanna. They thought she was sweet and beautiful, and it was clear they were deeply in love. Matthew came out of his shell with her. They chose to go to college together at Nottingham, Trent, and after a year at college, they moved in together.
Aww.
And I think they are so cute and sweet. And I met Maris on a video game.
I was about to say, this sounds
World of
familiar.
Warcraft, bitches! World of Warcraft sucks. Warhammer's better. Anyway, along with an online friend named James, they created an online forum for Advanced Wars where they could connect with other people who enjoyed the game. The forum wasn't huge, but there were around 50 active users, all of which became friends over time. And they would chat about things not related to the game, about their lives. Some of the users were what I call terminally online. And they were... Terminally. You're just
understand it.
on fucking line all the time.
I
Same.
understand it.
I was really this way, more so than I am now, because now I can clearly be off the computer for at least a week.
Shut the fuck up.
I wasn't chewing my own foot off or banging on the bars of my enclosure at all. I wasn't driving to the store's parking lot just so I could get 2 bars of signal to look at memes. That's not what I was doing. But anyway, I'm not judging. If you're online all the time, it's fine. But back then, back in 2008, if you were online all the time, people thought you were a fucking basement-dwelling freak. Yeah. So, and that was me back then. Yeah. On this forum, users had usernames. Matthew went by Shade, and Joanna went by JoJo. Advanced Wars was predominantly male-dominated game, so Joanna really stood out because she was a girl. And because she was fucking good at it. She had lots of friends on the forum. Joanna eventually attracted the attention of a user named Eagle the Lightning, which is arguably a very stupid and edgy name.
Eagle the Lightning.
Ride the thunder. All Matthew and Joanna knew is that his real name was David and that he was from Germany. He'd also told Joanna that he'd been abandoned by his parents when he was 10 years old and he lived with his grandmother. Joanna was very compassionate with David. She felt bad for him and engaged in private conversations with him to try and help him through his hard times that he was going through. However, David naturally took this to mean she was interested in him romantically, because that happens, and he certainly was interested in her. It didn't matter to David that Joanna was already in a relationship. He wasn't deterred. He was certain that the two of them would be together one day. He started looking up information about Joanna online, and he found her on Facebook. Once he saw her picture, he fell in love with her, and this started his deadly obsession. David had a thing for redheads, which is one of the most annoying traits a man can have. God. Seriously, though, name one man you've heard say, "Oh, I got a thing for redheads," that wasn't the biggest fucking toe on the face of this earth.
No, but I've heard a girl say it, and it's really cute when they do.
It's cute when a girl does it, fellas.
Anything is cute when a girl does it.
Well,
yeah.
Anyway.
Happy Pride Month, everyone.
He went beyond just preferring redheads, which is, I find it weird to pick your partner based on hair color.
Right.
But then again, I don't even care about gender, so.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, he thought they were more intelligent.
It was more than a preference. This was like an ideology, it sounds
He's
like.
a weird obsession with redheads. Yeah. I don't know. It's just that, he thought all redheaded women were more intelligent.
That's weird.
I have a cousin who's a redheaded woman, and she's dumb as fucking shit.
Well, there you go.
Sarah, you suck. Fight me. You stupid ass biscuit dough face having bitch. Anyway, eventually David confessed that he was in love with Joanna to her. She rebuffed him and told him she was in love with Matthew and his advances were not welcome, but David did not care. On May 3rd, 2008, a document appeared on the forum written by Eagle the Lightning. It was a love letter to Joanna, and he'd posted it for all the users on the forum to see.
Jesus.
It was 2 pages long, and it was unhinged as fuck, because of course it was. Naturally, Joanna was disgusted and freaked out and uncomfortable. And, okay, I've seen a lot of discourse around this case, so I want to get it out there right away, because I'm not going to go there.
I wish they could have seen what you just did. I know this is radio.
Oh, I just rubbed my head really hard.
It was wild.
Yeah, I'm not here. Okay, so basically, the discourse on this case is that both Joanna and Matthew didn't do enough to deter David.
Wait.
They didn't ban him from the forum.
This is what people think?
Oh, yeah. They didn't ban him from the forum soon enough. They didn't block him soon enough. They didn't tell anybody.
How in the world were they supposed to know
that it would go bad?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if I blocked everybody who had heart eyes for me, who's left?
Same.
Who?
I get some unhinged messages all the time, and I just don't open them. I don't read them, and if I do open them, I just don't answer them because
I just send
talk in my messenger all you want. I don't care.
Have a party,
but
I just send pictures of catastrophic groin injuries if they're too annoying. Pro tip.
That's a good idea.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, you have to look at them yourself to pick a good one.
Pocket. Yeah.
But when you're mad, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But still, how in the world could it be their fault? I don't see how.
Well, when I go a little longer, you're going to see what I mean.
But do you think maybe that they're just kind and compassionate people who don't?
I think there was a real aversion to confrontation at play here. Sure. But, I mean, we'll get into it, and I will talk about it a little bit, but please know, I am not victim blaming.
No, there's no way that's their fault
Just because you don't like confrontation doesn't mean you deserve to die. Right. Obviously.
Yeah.
So I want to make that clear before we go forward, because there's a lot of discourse on this case, and I think it's gross. Mm-hmm. So David was wholly obsessed with her at this point. Nothing she did or said deterred him. Over time, he'd slowly gathered information about Joanna from Facebook and from conversations on the forum. David knew that Joanna and Matthew lived in Nottingham. He knew they lived over a pub, and he knew that there was a park nearby, and all this information he'd gotten off of Facebook and through casual conversations on this forum over like a year. And people don't understand this about stalkers. Because if you're not a stalker, you don't think about this shit.
Exactly.
And so they're like, how did he even know it? Because he paid the fuck attention to literally everything everybody said, trying to find any information on her that he could.
Right.
Like, it was taken from casual conversation, like, man, the pub downstairs sure is noisy today. How annoying.
Well, then he registered, okay, the pub is open right now.
The pub is open? They live above a pub.
Yeah.
So you see how easily, like, somebody who's just waiting for any breadcrumb.
We're going to go for a short walk down to the park.
Exactly.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. In addition, David was confiding in other forum users that knew Matthew and Joanna really well. David had tricked this user into confirming the young couple's address, and now he knew exactly where they lived.
Wow.
David knew that Joanna and Matthew had recently gone on vacation to Devon with their parents, so he decided to plan a surprise for when they returned home. They got text messages that implied David was going to visit them from another user on the forum who was like, hey, heads up and a warning, he's coming to visit you. Matthew and Joanna just didn't believe David would come all the way from Germany, uninvited, to visit them over some misplaced crush. They thought it was a joke and didn't worry about it. On the 21st of June 2008, Matthew and Joanna arrived back from Devon. As they headed up to their apartment, a stranger approached them and introduced himself as Eagle the Lightning.
Oh my God.
David. Matthew and Joanna were polite and offered him a cup of tea because they felt bad he'd come all that way, only to be turned away. And see, this is where people start getting annoyed. And you guys don't understand until you're in the situation. You know,
also the culture.
It's British culture. Yeah. Oh my God. They're not confrontational people. They don't like big emotional blow-ups.
Yes.
They say aluminium weird.
Yeah.
Etc.
And tea means everything.
Yes, it does.
Tea means absolutely everything.
You can tell somebody to fuck off over tea.
Absolutely. But also, anytime anyone comes to visit, it's always
tea.
Tea. Even if they just stay for a cup of tea and then they leave, it's a cordial thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost understood.
Joanna just thought, and I mean, it was Matthew who invited him up, just thought he's going to have this tea and he's going to leave.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. David shocked them both when he told them he expected to stay with the couple during his month-long visit in Nottingham.
No.
Joanna naturally just wasn't fucking having it, and she wanted him out of there ASAP. So she got on the phone and called over 20 hotels and hostels. But there were no rooms available that night, so the choice was he slept on the street or stayed with them for one night.
Are you fucking kidding me?
His ass been on the street if it were me.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this in a morally superior way. I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even gotten no tea. He got my boot up his ass. Matthew suggested that David be allowed to stay one night. The couple had a very tiny studio apartment, and this meant that David would sleep right next to Matthew and Joanna's bed. Joanna naturally was very upset and uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Now, she had expressed to Matthew many times over the course of that day she was not cool with this. She did not want him there. And I will say I wish she would have listened to her, and I wish people would listen to women more often and take our troubles more seriously.
We have an innate sense.
It don't even take an innate sense. This was some psycho shit.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that all women, especially.
Oh, I wouldn't say all, honey.
No, but
I've met some real dumb bitches.
No,
in my
you're
day.
right. You're right. I speak for myself.
They couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag.
That's true.
Yeah.
But biologically, anyway. It's just, not biologically. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm tired. But you know what I mean? Like, I know that she could feel it coming is what I'm saying. I know that she could feel what was happening. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Joanna couldn't sleep that night. Of course not. And she kind of raised up a little bit and looked around the room. He was fucking staring right at her. And he stared at her all night long.
Gross.
The next day, Joanna found him a hotel room. Both Matthew and Joanna resolved to get him out of Nottingham and not have him stay the entire month. They spoke to mutual friends on the forum about how awful the situation was, how uncomfortable they both were, but especially Joanna. David asked Joanna to spend time together privately right in front of Matthew.
Ew.
I know, it's awful. For the entire week of David's stay, he kept writing Joanna letters telling her how he wasn't weird or that his behavior was justifiable given how he felt about her, and how he always felt discarded because of being abandoned by his parents. See, manipulative fucking cunt.
Jesus Christ.
But after a week, the couple managed to get David to return home to Germany without incident by convincing him to first, on his way home, visit other friends from the forum. So he did.
Yeah.
After, the couple tried to put the strange event behind them. They didn't tell anyone in their real life about it, and I suspect because they were embarrassed. And look, internet culture was different in 2008 than it is in 2024.
And people were really big on not meeting people off of the internet.
Oh, yeah, they thought it was shameful.
Yeah, yeah.
Even when me and Maris got together in 2013, people gave me looks like, you met him where? I say that now, and people are like, yeah, obviously, I met my boyfriend on Animal Crossing, you know?
Aw.
Yeah, it's cute. It's cute.
Yeah.
I think that shit cute,
yeah,
and I always have. WoW has made many marriages, so for that I am grateful.
I will not be logging on.
No, I'm quite done. I'm quite done.
Yeah.
I just think I think Matthew was embarrassed.
Yeah,
So
I
was
understand
Joanna.
that, yeah.
But David, after meeting Joanna in person, was even more obsessed with her. As he traveled around meeting other forum members, his unsettling behavior became quite the topic of conversation on the forums. Like, he was going to other forum members' places and just talking incessantly about her like a crazy person. And they were like, Ugh.
Uncomfy.
Yeah. Don't like. They called him strange and weird and inappropriate, and he felt ostracized. He kept posting about Joanna on the forums, and finally, Matthew'd had enough. He was frustrated by the whole thing, and he wanted this man to leave his girlfriend alone.
Yeah.
On July 22nd of 2008, Matthew uploaded a document to email to some friends called The 19 Reasons. And this was a list of 19 reasons why he hated David.
Oh.
Yeah.
You couldn't have thought of one more?
Right, to make it 20, that does bother me.
Sorry.
It was just a whole list of why he hated David Heiss. That's his last name, by the way. He was just done with David's shit. Now, this wasn't a public post, and it was only sent to a few close friends, but David caught wind of the document, and he was incensed. He was furious. In addition, he was shocked that the forum members, by and large, were on Matthew's side. He was starting fights, getting into arguments. He did this until he was banned from the forum, and this forum was David's entire life. Every friend he had just about was on there. Joanna was on there. He could not cope. Could not cope with that being taken away from him. David believed that Matthew was the problem, that Matthew was responsible for him getting banned, even though I think it was Joanna who did it. He told the friends online that he was planning on returning to Nottingham and confronting Matthew. On the 28th of July, 2008, less than 2 weeks since his last trip, David borrowed his uncle's car and began driving to Nottingham. So determined was he to get there, he drove without fucking stopping to rest.
How long of a drive is that?
It's a long fucking drive. I knew you'd ask, but I didn't care enough to plan it out. Over a day.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm. Maybe even longer than that. I don't know. Time, space, makes no sense.
Well, I just know that like all those countries are so small, all squished up together. But...
It's still a lot.
Yeah.
It'd be like driving through several states.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so at around 2 a.m., I think the following day, he fell asleep at the wheel and ran his car off the road at high speeds into a ditch. And he was very lucky to not sustain injury.
I don't know if luck would be the right word.
For him.
For him.
Not for anyone else.
Yeah.
The equivalent of the British Highway Patrol that I forgot the name of, who attended the scene, helped David, and he was very honest with them. At least his version of events of why he was headed to Nottingham. He said he was going to meet his girlfriend, Joanna. There.
Ew.
Mm-hmm. On August 1st, Joanna is coming home from work, and she sees David across the street, waiting for her. She runs home and tells Matthew. They decide that they're going to have a talk with David, confront him, so they agreed to meet him in the Arboretum, indeed, park.
Indeed.
I was just pleased I got it. Joanna was clear that she didn't want David in her life. She told him there was no chance and that she loved Matthew and to fuck off.
Yeah.
She yelled at him.
Yeah.
Well, David was crushed. He started sobbing and was just incoherent. But Joanna got David to agree not to contact her anymore. Yeah. At least for a while. Take a break. Matthew and Joanna believed that their trouble with David Heiss was over. David returned to Germany the following day on the 2nd of August. But David wasn't over her. He was as obsessed as ever. On September 16th, 2008, he reached out to Joanna online and had a discussion with her. In this conversation, he said he wanted to end his life in Nottingham in front of her. And she didn't really even respond. She blocked him.
Good, because that's manipulative.
But this enraged him. Because stalkers like control.
Right.
And they like to get you through fear.
Right.
And other things. Because I'll at the end, we'll talk. We're going to talk.
Yeah.
Talk. But he wouldn't be deterred. He would find another way to contact her. So he called her at home. Matthew got on the phone and screamed at him, and so did Joanna. They told David that if he returned, they would call the police.
Yeah.
On the 18th of September 2008, the couple celebrated their 3-year anniversary. They went out to dinner, but they cut their celebration short because the mess with David had kind of ruined the mood. And they were home by 9 p.m. The next day, Joanna got up to go to work, as she did every morning. After kissing Matthew goodbye and saying she loved him, she went to work, without knowing that David Heiss was watching her. Like most couples, Matthew and Joanna texted each other throughout the day. This part really hurts my feelings. But that day, the 19th of September, Matthew wasn't responding to Joanna's messages.
Shut up.
And that wasn't normal behavior.
No.
And she was worried right away. And she just called and left voicemails.
This is the day after their anniversary.
Mm-hmm. And see, it bothers me because, like, me and Maris text literally all day long, even though we're in the same fucking house.
Right.
He sends me cute little, like, gifts and, like, little kissy face.
You're thinking of each other.
Yeah, that's our policy. You think of each other, we let each other know.
Yeah.
And if I leave the house for any reason, I tell him when I get there, when I leave. Yeah. Not because of safety or anything. He just worries about me.
Yeah.
He's scared. He's got autism and he's nervous.
Yeah.
And so I like to reassure him. And there was one time I think he didn't answer me when I was out. Like I was picking up the kids somewhere or something. I don't ever remember being just so scared. I'll never forget that. Just being so scared that something had happened to him. And I can't imagine how scared she was. Just pitiful. By the time she left work, she was terrified. She ran home. When she got to the communal hallway that led to her apartment, she saw what she thought was a small smear of blood on the wall, and her heart just stopped. When she entered her apartment, she confronted a horrific scene.
Baby.
The apartment had been utterly ransacked, all of their belongings strewn everywhere, violently. She thought it was a burglary, and there was blood everywhere. In her bedroom, she finds Matthew on the floor. She dialed emergency services, but it was too late. He had been dead for hours. She didn't suspect that David Heiss had done this. But Matthew would help solve his own murder. Next to where his body was found was an old computer tower, and he had written in blood, as he lay dying, the letters D. A. And you could see he was trying to make a V, but he'd passed. I just think that was really brave of him.
Sweet baby.
I just think, God, it gives me the chills, you know? He fought to the end. Mm-hmm. Police interviewed Joanna and asked if anyone wanted to harm Matthew. She gave him the name of David, but that's like all she had. She had David Heiss. It was hard to track David down. All Joanna knew is that he lived in Germany. Police instructed the other forum members to keep behaving like they didn't have any idea David was a suspect. And, you know, because it would kind of make David nervous. And in fact, that worked perfectly. He had at some point gotten back on the forum. I don't know, under a different username. Like, the sources were not clear on this. But one of the detectives became a member of the forum to keep an eye on things. The detective saw that David was online talking to other users, proclaiming he had nothing to do with Matthew's death, and he even provided a picture of a travel ticket for the 19th that proved he was in Germany at the time of the murder. But a travel ticket doesn't prove anything.
It just means you bought the ticket.
It just means you bought the fucking ticket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that was David's alibi, but the police were going to test it. They checked the airports to see if he'd flown into the UK the day of the murders, and they found him on a flight out of Frankfurt to Birmingham. The police also got CCTV footage from the airport showing him boarding and, like, embarking and all that good, disembarking, whatever you call it, I don't know. And they showed him boarding a flight 4 hours after the murder in Birmingham. His alibi fell apart. They also had him on CCTV the night before in front of Matthew and Joanna's apartment. That's so fucking scary. God. Now, all police had to do was find him in Germany and arrest him. Detectives turned to the forum users for clues. One user told them about his car accident on the 11th, and that's how they tracked him down.
How did they use the car accident?
Because British Highway Patrol helped him, and they made a record of it. So he had to give them his name, his address.
Oh.
Because he was driving.
Gotcha. I didn't think about the address part.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
That's the way they got his last name and address. In less than 5 days after the murder, German police arrested David Heiss. When interviewed by British police, he confessed to stabbing Matthew Pyke, but he claimed it was in self-defense.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
But police went to his house and found the jacket he'd been wearing when he killed Matthew. In the pocket was a suicide note, printed out. that had made to look like Matthew had written it. But police searched David's computer and discovered that David had written it a couple days before the murder. It wasn't self-defense. It was clearly premeditated. He had planned to go to the apartment, kill Matthew in such a way it would look like a suicide, and then plant that note.
But since he stabbed him in a frenzy,
he went absolutely apeshit, and David fought hard.
Yeah.
And he looked around and he thought,
this isn't suicide.
This isn't going to look like suicide. I'm going to make it look like a burglary gone wrong. And in the note, too, was stuff Matthew would have never written, like he didn't love Joanna and never did.
Of course he wrote that.
And he wouldn't have written that. He loved her.
Right. Clearly.
So he's arrested. He was charged with murder, and he was found guilty and sentenced to life. Yeah. Good.
Well, yeah. I just feel bad for Joanna.
Bless her.
I know.
It's been hard for her.
I can't imagine.
Can't either. She's a lovely lady. Lovely person.
Walking in on the love of your life.
Well, I just put myself in the shoes, and if somebody had done that to Maris, I think I'd just die.
I think
he'd just kill me.
Yeah.
Can't imagine.
I think my heart would stop beating.
Yes. I want to say this now that we're at the end.
Yeah.
I want to talk about stalking. It's really hard. Stalking is really hard to deal with.
Yeah.
It's such a violation.
Right.
Of your privacy.
And your psyche. Like, it does a
Feels slimy as
psychological toll on you. Because
So
a normal
scared.
person, and your average person, does not understand or doesn't, like, your brain doesn't want to understand what it's
No.
like to be watched all the time.
No.
Or, you know what I mean? So you're always going to, like, poo-poo it off or, like,
yes.
you know what I mean? That's very natural to do that as your
Absolutely.
own safety mechanism.
Well, at your own, you're just like, surely no one fucking behaves this way.
Yeah.
Makes you feel really unhinged.
It makes you feel crazy.
Yes, it does. But that's part of it. It's part of it.
Yeah.
Is the isolating. It feels isolating.
Yeah.
And you feel hunted.
Yes.
And not in a fun sex way.
Literally hunted.
Literally.
Yeah.
And at any moment, this person could show up, or they could take screenshots and embarrass you and that kind of thing. Luckily, I cannot be embarrassed, so take all the screenshots you like and shove them directly up your ass sideways. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows I'm a cunt.
Right.
Like, it's not a surprise. So, am I okay? Yeah. I mean, it's been going on this long.
Right.
But I'm done with it now.
But it is such a creepy feeling.
It is.
It is such a creepy feeling. Like, when we talked about this before we got on
The microphone.
like, it made me want to throw up. Like, I was, like, choking it back just because it's such a gross feeling.
Yeah, and it's just like the grossest person in the world doing it.
Right.
And I think like the motivations are, I kind of get what they are. I don't care, by the way. Just be a normal person and deal with these things like in a rational, sensible way instead of the absolutely unhinged, gross way.
No, it takes a special kind of fucked up
worm
to do this.
So, and I'm sure this is being listened to too. And just know, I never loved you. You suck. You were terrible in bed, and you're stinky, and I don't like you. Stinky. And I hope you choke. And I'd like to point this out. Yeah, I am poor. And yeah, my life's sort of a fucking disaster of my own making, usually. I am a raccoon person. I am ridiculous. Yes. I am unhinged. Mm-hmm. I'm 5 on the inside. Mm-hmm. I would say 14, 15, but I'm just going to put it back to toddler years because that's where we're at. I want chalky milk and nuggies, and I'm going to go night-night. Mm-hmm. But you know what else I am? I'm happy as shit.
That's right.
I love my life. I love my children. They love me back. I love my husband so much. Listen, Maris got a haircut today. He is so fucking handsome. I am going to do terrible things to him after this podcast ends. Things I never did to you and never would. But you know what I will do?
Oh my God, are you serious?
I am.
Jesus
I will do business time. We're back, baby. Business time. Yeah. I don't got a lot of business because I'm exhausted. I'm sweaty and I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Not enough internet to have business.
Well, there's been no business.
There's
been me sitting here going, like looking at my little pennies and going, fuck.
Yeah.
But we made it.
Yeah.
In part. Thanks to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to know how much I want to cry. How much I appreciate you, especially our patrons sticking around when we've had a bad couple months.
Yeah.
Poor Willow has just had her life turned inside out by its butthole.
Girl.
Like, my shit's stupid. Your shit's way stupider.
Stuck in a house without electricity or
No car.
A toddler
who relies on the internet to stem. For, like, his shows.
Yeah, his TV shows and movies and stimming. And so I've had to physically help him stim throughout the day.
That just means beating the shit out of you.
Yeah, he's clinging on me. I'm, rocking him back and forth and playing and singing. And
you don't get a minute?
I don't get not 1 minute.
It's hot. It's humid.
Yeah.
It's hell.
And it's and I'm lonely. I'm a lonely ass person, and it's like,
and you're
I
like
have I have 3 friends.
Yeah.
I don't trust anyone.
No.
I've had my heart just beaten the fuck up.
Yeah, so super.
So I can't trust anyone.
No.
And so it's just me barely making it, hours getting cut at work, no car, having to rely on rides, having to rely on fucking scraps and handouts just to survive. But
you're doing it.
I love that part of my life. I don't like
that part can suck.
But I love myself a
and
whole lot more than I ever have.
And your babies.
And my God, I've got good children.
Yes, you do.
And my little toddler just loves me more than anything in this world.
He's a precious. He peed on me once on purpose.
He's fantastic.
And it was hilarious.
He's fantastic. He just started, for those that know, he's nonverbal and has been nonverbal since about 6 months. He did some baby babble and that was it. And just the other day, he said, "Mama."
Damn.
Yeah.
I bet you cried buckets.
Bald.
Oh, my God.
Bald.
How precious is that?
It's just, so I know things are going to get better. It's like those little glimmers like that.
One thing we can all rely on, babies.
Yeah.
It ain't going to stay the same.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be that optimistic, but at least it'll be different later.
Yeah. It'll be a different
Some
flavor.
other fresh hell, huh?
Right.
So if you want to support this podcast, because people ask me, how can I support this podcast? Here's the answer. I will give it unto you. You can send us money. You can do that on Coffee. You can do it through PayPal. I don't care. You can become a patron. You can only become a patron for 1 month if you want and download all the episodes, like literally download all of them and then listen to them and then come back later.
Right.
I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I know some of y'all do that and I ain't mad about it.
Yeah.
This economy, you shitting me? I'll take the little measly $5 and you get the over 200 episodes. You can also share the word. Say, hey, go listen to this podcast because it's rad and I love it.
Tag us in groups. Tag us in posts.
Tag. Yeah. Because last 2 months have hurt us.
Yeah.
We expected it would.
Yeah.
This is not a surprise.
It's like we could feel it coming.
I could. I needed
like when
the break.
It smells like rain outside and you're like, ooh.
Or it looks like hail.
Yeah.
Or sky's all green and buggery.
Yeah. We're like, we're going to have to take
That's how the sky looked fucked up, you guys. I went outside and looked at the lightning flashing in the clouds, and I was like, I live in a trailer. Right. Well, I guess I'll die.
Lots of solar storms happening lately. We saw the Aurora Borealis.
That was rad as shit.
That was breathtaking. I had an out-of-body experience. Pretty much like
I don't know how
my soul had a boner.
Exactly.
But apparently you're supposed to see it again soon. And this is in Arkansas, so like that's
not
very
normal.
south. Yeah. So big solar flares, big solar storms, just nauseous from it. But,
I felt like giddy.
Ugh.
But of course I'm hypomanic, so who knows how I can't even like eat. Like I can't eat a full meal without like getting distracted and wanting to throw up.
Because you're going.
Go.
Yeah.
Y'all, I'm assuming this is what like a lot of cocaine feels like. Because I did cocaine and I felt normal. I
miss
feel
it
anything.
so much, but nope.
Face was numb and I was just like, is this how neurotypical people feel? Yeah. Cool. I didn't get like the euphoria. This is what lots of cocaine feels like, I think.
Probably.
Rad. No wonder people are addicted to it. It's fucking cool. Anyway, don't do drugs. Don't do drugs.
Just have chemical imbalances in your
Just
brain,
be careful.
Naturally.
Be careful with your drugs. It's all Mama Lillian asked. Don't call me Mama Lillian. Ever.
No.
Don't
ever
do that.
Nope.
Auntie Lillian will work. I'll be your crazy aunt.
You're an auntie.
I am literally. I mean, no, I guess I'm disowned. Oh, well, fuck you. Anyway, if all you can do to support this podcast is listen, hey, thank you for continuing to do so, even though the last couple months been squirrely. But hey, I think we got a pretty good track record.
Yeah. Happy Pride Month.
Hell
everyone.
Yeah. I'm gay as shit.
Yep.
Be gay. Do crimes. For your aunties.
Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
Also, YouTube. Hello. Like and subscribe and comment. You can even say, Lillian, suck dicks in hell, and I'll say, gladly, can't wait.
Sign me up.
Where are the dicks? Run a train. I'm ready. I love you guys. Thank you for sticking around and all the lovely messages. Mm-hmm. I couldn't answer a single fucking one of them, but I could see them pop up. Oh my God, because that's the other thing with our power outage. Yeah. I had 1 bar of cell signal because everybody overloaded the cell networks. Right. And so I couldn't do anything. And I would see messages pop up and people like, Lillian, maybe boo. And I'm like, I can't answer. So I would go to the store like 4 times a day just to like answer people because I didn't want them to worry about me. So I had friends and family, you know, I live in the path of all this weather and wanted to check on me. So, Jesus. That was not supposed to come out, but you know what? It stays in. Enjoy my belch. But I'm going to go now because this is stupid. Yeah. Goodbye.
Us on your social media platform of choice. Linktree/Cruelty has all the links. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by Libby.